Welcome to the CPTM Commonwealth Partnership for Technology Management Smart Partners Hub Library in London. Today, as part of Spotting Signals for Tomorrow, Smart Partners are marking 20 years since the key main 7 principles built into the manifesto of Smart Partnership movement have been launched and agreed. And these were built into the manifesto of the Smart Partnership movement, which today, after 20 years, looking back and looking forward, we are launching it as an addendum to the manifesto, which was spelled out in 1998 in Swakopmund, Namibia, together with His Excellency President Yoma at that time and his colleagues in Southern Africa, Secretary Masire, President Chisano, President Museveni, Tun Dr. Mahathir, and many business, labor, social issues smart partners. Now, the manifesto, or a manifesto, is a very emotional and living thing, and is a collective, tacit agreement among individuals, among countries, among institutions. Now, Keith Jordan and Professor Tom de Gregory, smart partners since about 20-25 years ago or more, were tasked together with me to put together the 7 principles as well as the meaning of the 7 principles of smart partnership. As smart partners said, it was an extraordinary high responsibility. But we've done it. It is not our interpretation. It is as we picked up what has been said. And what is more important, today after 20 years, as Tom and Keith and I reflected sometime in April, since April 2018 this year, is how valid, how much practice is behind those 7 smart partnership movements principles today. And more than that is how ahead of many other groupings, that they are in developed countries, that they are in no country but in Silicon Valley, that they are big companies, big technology companies. They are all actually trying to express a manifesto above their commercial interest. If those companies, which are global now, mainly in the realm of internet and data, if those companies are to survive, one would notice that there are principles, a few, behind, and they are expressed in a manifesto. For instance, about a few days ago, the chief executive of Mozilla, one of the big, well-known global company which emerged in Silicon Valley, about 20 years ago also, the one that is known for Firefox, etc. They have re-updated or produced an addendum to their initial manifesto, which they have 9 principles, which they stated about 20 years ago, and which they lived through, and they guided their business to become what they became today. So, the Smart Partnership movement, the 7 principles are guiding not only the smart partners from the few countries, although there may be about 50 if there is in the Commonwealth and more, but a few countries as distinct from what Mozilla, for instance, company is outreach is. But the 7 principles of smart partnership are similarly and above actually of those that are very considered as most successful and most ethical. So what I'll do today on behalf of Tom and Keith, and of course all the smart partners, is to take you through the key parts of the living manifesto that, and the story so far, that is being put together for the next years to come. I made obviously a great attempt to link as much what has transpired as well as what it looks like it will take place since 1998 to today, and probably next 2 years and so on. And obviously the main feature of this living manifesto launched today is the manifesto itself, which the original manifesto that remains with the 7 principles as the main core of the Smart Partnership movement and CPTM. So this is what you will have in this document that is being launched today. It has also examples of how the Smart Partnership principles came about, how they've been lived through, how they've been articulated by leaders, traditional leaders, well-known leaders of most successful countries, particularly from the emerging economies, business leaders, and those who even today they are adding practice and examples of this smart partnership. So you will have as an initial limitless opportunities and networking for worlds through smart partnership initial manifesto, whole manifesto. You will have the 7 principles which are being identified equivalent to those that I just mentioned, for instance, Mozilla company. The 7 principles are shared vision, cultural diversity, code of ethics, trust, longevity, networks, transparency, equity, including intellectual equity, fair play, and values. Now, the smart partnership principles obviously shaped a smart partnership philosophy. The smart partnership philosophy itself is based on and fits into the practice of smart partnership. Smart partnership philosophy, one would say, is an evolutionary mechanism. Is also an enlightened self-interest But above all and everything else, what connects smart partnership principles with the today rapidly developing interconnections is smart partnership is a catalyst of trust. It's the best catalyst of trust. An internet of people as you could find. And it is not an abstract thing, it's a living thing that you only recognize it as you are part of it. And it is both a basis of one-to-one, a cooperative thing, for competitiveness, for transforming the environment, but also is a basis for new international cooperative governance that is emerging in 21st century. New geopolitics and new geoeconomics. There are many challenges and key tasks that are identified were identified in 1998 and are being spelled out in the original manifesto. The problems that smart partnership in practice addresses are are imperatives of socio-economic transformation, are the imperatives of continuous need for development of infrastructure capacity, be it real physical infrastructure, human infrastructure, digital infrastructure, data infrastructure, and obviously cost to do with that. And there are issues continually to do with landless and the poor, and the engagement, the inclusion mechanism, be it financial or any other type of inclusion, political, and so on. All these things are highlighted in a very succinct manifesto, original manifesto, which is there today, valid. But today we added examples, smart partners added examples and depths and priorities to the smart partnership principles. As I said, trust is one of the major, beyond the vision, kind of principle among the 7 of them. One of the most quoted articulation of smart partnership into both everyday life but also into trade, globalization, government business, business of business, is Dr. Mahathir. So you would have in this living story of the manifesto a very rich example of live as Tun Dr. Mahathir, currently Prime Minister of Malaysia again, since May 2018, just about 100 days since they came in. You have a most live and practical example of smart partnership principles. Along them, there are quite a number of, as they said it, and as they thought through, and as they practiced, or as they wished to share, ways of expressing smart partnership. These are in smart partnership in practice, then, now, and tomorrow. and His Excellency President Museveni, the current chair of Smart Partnership Movement since 2013, has a number of ways to explain. But what he's particularly known for is that Smart Partnership is an ongoing think tanking, is a think tanking of ideas related to practice. Now, this is the current contemporary thinking of any successful chief executive, leader, or individual. His Excellency President Museveni was passed the baton in 2013 from former President Kikwete, who introduced the focus into leveraging technology, anchoring technology, leveraging technology for socio-economic transformation. So you'll have the way they explained and they brought in the Smart Partnership philosophy and practice, the 7 principles of the manifesto, alongside His Excellency Seketubile Masire, who started the entire planted the seed of Smart Partnership through Kasane in Southern Africa, but not only, brought in East Africa too, alongside Malaysia. The 2 main parts of the Smart Partnership Manifesto is the 7 principles, but the 7 principles backed up by a living story and a continuation of that living story of Smart Partner.